الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين وبعد. This is Jalal Abualrub, originally from Palestine, the West Bank, the city of Jenin, and my people are the ones who are suffering greatly under the brutal occupation of the Jewish army and the people and the settlers. So much death and destruction that I cannot count them today. It's not possible for me. And we need to talk more about the issue of the supporters of the Jews. In a video before this, I mentioned that the Hindu rat worshipper Prime Minister of Britain issued one of the strongest condemnations against Hamas and against their aggression against the Israelis, but said nothing about the conflict that started 106 years ago. Guess by who? Britain. So I said that among the countries of the world, a Hindu and the British people and media have the least right, if there is any right at all, to speak about Palestine. You started the conflict. So it's amazing that you would come and talk about one of the consequences of the conflict as if it has started only 3 weeks ago. One of the strongest condemnation for Hamas and whatever and support for Israel also came from another Western European country. It's the one where the final solution for the Jews started in the middle of 1930s. They tried to exterminate the Jews. The Christians throughout their history tried to exterminate the Jews, having expelled the Jews from Palestine in the year 70. So they lived in Europe and other areas, and the Christians tried to exterminate them because they accused them, according to the New Testament that was written by the Jews, by the way, that they crucified and killed their God, Jesus. So they tried to kill the Jews, and then Hitler came and wanted to do the final solution, just to get rid of the Jews once and for all. It didn't happen. Anyway, they killed a very large number of Jews. I mean, the number that's been offered consistently is 6 million, with those nice 6 zeros. Don't you dare say 5,999 and 999. I mean, 5,999,999 Jews. No, it has to be 6 million. And they repeat the number, repeat it, so people, whenever the Holocaust comes to mind, they think about the 6 million. So Germany, supported by France, Italy, Poland before the occupation, Romania, and silence, in fact, pleasure of the Pope. And I have a picture of the Pope when Hitler met him. They tried to exterminate the Jews. And they killed so many of them, deported them to camps where they lived in the most horrible condition imaginable. And they were killed by the hundreds of thousands at a minimum. I don't agree with so many Muslims who say the Holocaust didn't happen. It did happen in Europe by the Christians. Palestinians didn't do anything. The Arabs did not do anything. The Muslims did not do anything. It's a Christian Europe who tried to exterminate the Jews. And because of what happened in Germany, the remaining Jews, or many of them, most of them maybe, in Europe, migrated to my homeland, Palestine. It was called as such in the Old Testament. It's Palestine. Never belonged to the Jews who were expelled from Palestine in the year 70 and then came back in the early 1900s, claiming that this is their land. So they came from Europe, and then they came from the so-called Soviet Union that was supposedly supportive of the Arabs and their causes and Palestinians, but they sent so many men, Jews, to go to Palestine and establish their own Holocaust against a defenseless people who still don't have the means to defend themselves against the Jews who are supported by the West fanatically. Every kind of weapon you can imagine, including nuclear, technology, money, billions and billions of dollars, support, intelligence. I mean, you name it, they have it. A blank check by the West to go kill as many Palestinians as they can, because this is the meaning of their support, even though they didn't tell the Jews go kill as many Palestinians as you wish. But this is the meaning, the consequence. They see the consequence of their support to the Jews with regards to the Palestinians. They see it. They know it. But what can we say? So Germany started this massive, massive crime against the Jews and other people, including Muslims who lived in Europe, Slavs and Gypsies, whatever. They started this. And because of what they did, the Jews now started saying, oh, let's go to our homeland, Abraham. God gave it to Abraham, and we are the seed of Abraham, which they can't prove. Anyway, so they came to my land and stole the land and killed my people, drove them out of their homes and lands. They're still doing the same, shooting settlers coming from Europe, from America in specific, with the least conscience in their heart, and it's not much to start with anyway. They're shooting. Hundreds of Palestinians were killed in the last conflict that the West is only talking about Hamas. The West Bank, they suffered hundreds of casualties too. So they came to my land, killed my people, stole our land, and when they are reminded that you don't belong here, well, the Holocaust. This is the reason you come steal my land, because somebody else stole your land and killed your people. We had nothing to do with it. So going back to what I started with, among the countries of the world, there are two countries that have the least right, if they have any, to talk about Palestine and the Palestinians, especially in the way they do. They don't have any regard for the Palestinians. Britain is number one. They started the conflict. And Germany, one of the strongest condemnations against Hamas came from who? Olaf, the Chancellor of Germany. By the way, the title Chancellor was also held by another Chancellor. What's his name? Heil. Anyway, you have the same title like Hitler. It's your country that caused all this death and destruction and helped the Jews come in droves from Europe to steal my land and kill my people? And you're condemning? What is that? Where did it come from? I mean, I could imagine they come and say, well, the Jews, they say, no, they just blamed the Palestinians completely for what happened. And you started it. You started with all that, freak killing of human beings, gassing them, and it's unbelievable that Germany would have the nerve to condemn the Palestinians for this latest round of fighting when it is they who try to exterminate the Jews. So you have no right to speak, Olaf. Just as much as you paid the Jews for what you did against them, inshallah, one day you will be forced to pay the Palestinians for sending the Jews our way. You killed them. You killed them. And whoever remains from them came and killed us. So I think you need to pay both ways and just stop it. Olaf, take care of the tremendous problems you have in your own country and stop this nonsense. The Holocaust, it's yours completely, 100% against the Jews. Now you're helping the Jews doing their own Holocaust against the Palestinians. Absolutely unacceptable. And so Britain and Germany, they have the nerve to talk about Palestine, Palestinians, Jews, Israel. And in Germany, so many people were reminded by the Holocaust. Oh, the Holocaust. Okay, Israel is justified in doing what they're doing in Gaza because we tried to kill them in Europe, in Germany in specific. Well, when the Muslim tiger is asleep, rats play. This is what I have to say here. I thank Allah for His favors. Islam will prevail and the Palestinians will prevail sooner or later and go back to their land. Beyond that, I ask Allah for His help and support always, always for the Muslims who are suffering in Palestine and all over the world. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.